My name is Aminta Dilbert Bryan, child of San Andrés Island, Raizal, native of this island. Counted two child, a married couple. Yeah. I have myself into fair table, working in kitchen for many, many years. Root of this island of San Andrés with my parents was Margarita Bryan, who that learned me all what I know until now about kitchen, cooking, making fair table, especially one was hash race time at some beer that begin from. I am from some bay, south of the island.
Good evening. My name is Tilli Pumir. Nickname is Tilli. I am a Raizal. I work in the gastronomy. I make fair table. Approximately 20 years or more than 20 years. I learned from my mother, Miss Bernice Martinez. And our ancestral, my grandmother used to make on Friday evening fried fish with Johnny cake and send them to sell it that they could have an income. So from there, our root, my mother used to make rundown, Johnny cake, fish ball, plantain tart, etc. on Friday that my brothers, they could go out and sell and we could have an income also. So I think the root coming from behind and we have to continue keep up our gastronomy and our culture. We must keep it up on fire.
Sorry, I just need to because I need to sit down. I just it's just so let me just
Albert, one cheering ideas I saw. Huh? One next year.
So can you tell us a little of the unique culture of the cooking here in San Andres and the islands and you know how you know the process as I said whether you learn from your mom or your grandmother, what were the things that identify with San Andres style food?
Yes. What was the thing that identifies us?
Like your you know the particular food that you've learned here, how it identify with the culture of San Andres
Well,
or the Caribbean, whichever the case may be. What is the kind of culture behind your style of cooking and your connection to this food?
well, I think our culture, and I understand that it came from Jamaica because many things that they make Jamaica right now, and also few things in England, we have it. And the Johnny cake was brought here. The history of the Johnny cake was a man that went to journey and his wife didn't know what to make. So she invent this journey cake that it could last him a long time because it was a journey he's going for a long time. So she invent the journey cake and it give it to make it and give it to her husband and he carry it and it lasts him a lot. So I think we have a lot of um, probably same, we don't cook it same, but we have the same idea of thinking. Also in Nicaragua, so because they also make rundown, they also make fried fish with rice and bean and potato salad. And the custom here, San Andres, the majority of people used to make rundown on Saturday. And the special food Sunday was rice and bean, stew, chicken, and potato salad. I think we have lost some things that we have to rescue. Some things like bami, um, the dokuno. We still have on sale bun, johnny cake, fritters, sweets like out of banana, sweet potato bread, plantain bread. Also, we make natural juice from all the fruits them here. In June plum, we have June plum here. We have common plum, sorrel, and lime juice, etc.
I just have to say to Joe, that it's nice to hear sorry because in Colombia, everybody tell me, Flor de Jamaica.
Yeah.
We only know it as sorry. Like,
Yeah.
you want some sorry?
Yeah.
People telling me, Flor de Jamaica. I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
Only Jamaica drink sorry.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about the food you learned to cook when you were growing up and the kind of traditional dishes here for that.
Well, I learned to cook watching my mother. I think I had a love to cook from early age. I used to watch her. In those days, our parents didn't want us to go to the kitchen often because they afraid that we would get burned. And once I watched my mother made a cake, and when she leave out, I went behind her back and make a cake. I was 12 years and a half, and I made the cake. It was so perfect that I give it to my sister-in-law, and she argued with me, said it wasn't me make it. But I watched my mother with all details, and I followed just what she did, and thank God it come out perfect. Also, I learned from her asking questions, also from one of my aunt. What I didn't know, I start to ask questions and start to try to do it myself because I think that was born from us. As I say, my grandmother used to do it. So I think a lot of us from the family also work in the gastronomy. So I think that is how I learned to cook and learn to love the kitchen. That's my passion.
So why is it your passion? What is it about cooking this food that you guys have such a connection to? And that's a question for both of you because I know you sit there and quiet like that. You know, get away with that.
I know that.
Yes.
But you know what? Why don't you answer first and then you can answer second? Let's mix it up a little bit.
Uh-huh. So, what is the question has been?
What is
Passion for cook.
about this food? What is it you love about cooking and love cooking about this food?
I love that passion because that is the way that economize. You win that because in our parents' time and in our time now, you didn't have enough work. So that is a way to work to gain our living. So the passion that you have and the love you have to cook, you share with another person. So that is the way you open way for you and several. Because at the same time, you're gaining and you're selling what you know. You're trying to promote the the gastronomy. You open way for you. So that is my passion for that. I have that some down in my because I grew up. I see my mother what she have done in. So that's why I have that very love and I love that kitchen tool. I can't talk about because now I make a ampliar this thing and put it further. When I coming up as a child, I see my mother they learn me to how them handle themselves. We was much plentiful of us. So I see my brother stay home there with we and we live right at the seaside. So he would tell my sis, cook the rice until I come. And him just come out, throwing line outside, catching fish, and come back. So we have fried fish and coconut rice to eat. So that's where I start learn the passion. So sometimes I go and catch the now them call it pilau, but we know it's a old white fish. Then didn't have when my mother time they didn't have nevera, then they didn't have nowhere to put up nothing. So what is them done? Make a fire, roast them fish on the grill, roast it outside, and there where you have fish to put up for the another day because you have it there. What else then used to do? Fry it. Fry it. So you have your roast fish and your fried fish put up. So when they want to make rundown, they make the rundown fried fish. They have it the two way. You can eat it fried, you can eat it rundown. So that's the way we have it. So if I come up with that passion and that love and everything for kitchen French and then when time the whole white fish, now we take it and hash it. We hash it, we use a thing that we call nata. We don't know what is tomato paste, then they know what is tomato paste, and don't know what is color and them things. We have with nata, we make a coconut oil, and we soak that nata into the coconut oil. And then that gives the color to the fish, to the minced fish, or the hash fish. We know it as hash fish, then say it's minced fish now.
Means.
And what is nata?
Nata is a
I will show it now.
it's not a fruit. We would say it come like a fruit, but it have some seed and it come dry. And then that then call it in Spanish achote. So we does mash that can mash. They do it now mash. But the real thing, the real San Andrés taste of cooking is use the natural nata. So we take that and put it in that, and that give the color of the food. Then we go use natural things, the nata, coconut oil, and coconut milk, garlic, a little black pepper. And that is the real San Andrés natural taste. With your parsley and your the marjan. That is what we custom to it. If it's a rundown, that is the basic for it, the taste. And if it's stew, the same thing. When they stew, then cut the onion, put it in so fry with that and the barley and put it in it, and that is okay. No other things. They make the dukunu dumpling. They make the dukunu is the one they have dukunu, and they have the next one there that we call one the dukunu with you grate the plantain and make it plantain or the yuca. We used to grate the yuca and make it we call it coca.
Okay, I know that name.
Mm-hmm.
Cassava.
Cassava.
We grate used to grate that. You wash it out and make it like some ball. And you set it on the whole stop. Set it on the whole stop, and when it dry, you grate it. Out of that, you make the bread, yuca cake. And when you done make the yuca cake with that same flour, you make the dumpling with to put into the pot. When you run down at anything you're making.
Excellent.
Yeah. So that's we used to hungry ourselves. Where my mother learned me to. I gone Providence and I live Providence for much a time and same experience we carry there. We have more product aside to hungry ourselves with more San Andrés and so. You know, that was it. We handle crab, the same thing. Them killing now for pick crab and pick crab. First, we used, my mother used to use natural, the crab, raw crab soup with the garlic. Just like how they make the rundown, is so they make the soup, raw crab soup. You just go and pick up the crab, clean it, and put it on. Beat the fat, throw in the pot with the bread kind and make your raw crab soup. Now then they kill if you pick crab, you don't have to crab and no make soup. So that's that's what I learned from my parents and cook.
All right.
I think our work, um, we do it because it's a way to produce income also. And after I stopped working with the government, That is where I raise up my fear table because I'm a person, I don't like to fold my hand. So I say, I'm going to make my sale of our gastronomy that I can able to get income from my home and my children them. And that's the way how I try to keep it up. That's my passion. That's my passion. Cook every day. Get up from in the morning, prepare my things, and also we use tea here out of fermenter, mint, wild basil. Our ancestral used to make out of lime leaf and soursop leaf. And also toronjil that good for the nerves. The lime leaf also, they say it good to sleep and for the nerves also. They had one that is not so common now, is they call it pit nut. That one good for your heart, it good for infection, and it good for fever. So I think our ancestral, they used to live a long time because of the way that they used to eat. They didn't eat so much chemic. They didn't use so much things that you have in the fridge for so long time. So much things that come in tin. They used to use now and again, they used to get from Panama the corned beef or the pork and beans. But the lot of stuff that we get here now, we didn't get it when we did young. Our ancestral didn't get it. So I think it's the way to eat healthy. And that's the best way that we can be able to keep our body healthy. Learn from our ancestral and keep up what they used to do. Now, in this, every minute you see different sickness. And many have said that they think it's the way how we eat because even the chicken, they used to raise the fowl in the yard. And on Saturday, them kill that, or Friday, they kill that chicken, season it, cook it for Saturday. They didn't cook on Sunday neither because here we used to respect the day. No one could make a noise here on Sunday. They couldn't cook. They couldn't go to beach. Nothing like that. So when we get up in the morning, food is already prepared. So only potato salad, you used to make rice and bean, potato salad, and stewed chicken. And when you come from church, you have that with natural juice or sorrel juice. They almost use sorrel in San Andrés. And in December, they always most make sweet potato bread with a custard on it. And any sweet at all on Saturday, they always make bread and bun, but out of coconut milk. That was our tradition. Also, they would make cornmeal bread. Every Saturday, every home had a different sweet. So I could give, for example, to Albert them a piece of bun or sweet, and someone else would send to me. They used to make like an exchange. So that's the way how we used to live in San Andrés. Also with the bread kind, with the cassava, the potato, whatever anyone used to raise banana on Saturday, we used to share with one another. And that was the way that we used to live in a loving way and a kind way to one another. And on Christmas also, on Christmas, the last days is when they kill the cow, the hog, the pig, and everyone would share up meat or we buy, and when we cook, we share it with one another also. Rice and bean and potato salad and boiled potato, sweet potato also. Because here we used to see most sweet potato on December. From December till February, March, we used to see sweet potato. So that was one of the tradition that we try to keep up. And I think we have to rescue many things that we have lost and try to get back together and promote our gastronomy more.
Yeah, I think, I mean, so many beautiful points, so many imagining the food you're talking about in my mind. But I'm going to try to keep it smaller. One of the things that struck me that was interesting is the concept of eating natural food. And there seems to be a movement across the world now from all different cultures. People are recognizing now the food we're eating is killing us.
Yeah.
Or we're eating food to provide energy, but we're not giving our body the food that it needs to heal itself. Your
Yeah.
body designed to heal itself. And you were talking about bush tea.
Mm-hmm.
I know bush tea from that's all we used to have in the
Exactly.
house. Anytime I get sick, bush tea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, broccoli, bush tea.
Bush tea.
You know. So how important is it to you to pass on this kind of legacy of medicine being what you eat rather than what you buy to the younger generation now, and how much of the younger generation are embracing the culture of cooking things slowly with real food, growing your own food, and rather than just you order something from the takeaway and you know
Well, I don't think our generation is embracing much as how we did in our time. As I think I say, we have to try to promote more in the schools and in our little section to teach the youth them to do gastronomy and to eat healthy because they want everything fast. They want everything natural. So they take everything that is easy and make something. First, we didn't see rundown, I don't know how you all call pero,
Sashes.
sausage, the long sausage. We didn't see that. Now they make rundown sausage. They make sausage soup. They make little of everything, but it's not healthy because the amount of chemical that they cook and introduce in the body. But I think we adults have to try to focus and transform our legacy to them and transmit it to them. Because if we don't transmit it, that's why we have lost a lot of things in our culture. Because it's not like when we were young, our ancestral used to transmit the things to us, sit down and tell us about history, how they did. Once my mother told me that when my grandfather used to go on fishing, he didn't catch no fish, but they had the bread kind, the cassava, the bosco, and the banana prepared. So when didn't get no fish, what they did, it just run down that amount of bread kind and satisfy with it. So that is one of the things that we have to learn our children them also to satisfy with what we have because sometimes it's the way that the Lord provided for us. But if we go and take and change up our things, our gastronomy is changed. Right now, we hardly have in the market those things that we islanders make. Most in the market is what the Spaniard they make, like arepa, chorizo, pero, hamburger. Hamburger is not from here, but we make also with the Janike a hamburger out of conch's ball or fish ball. And we open the Johnny cake and make like a hamburger. So think those things can replace that we can able to rescue back those things and our culture and our custom.
that's beautiful. I mean, I think interesting for me because I know right now they have a movement in Trinidad
Mm.
where they're now inviting tourists on health trips. They're calling them well-being retreat. But in the well-being retreat, they're teaching them how to use the local produce to eat food that's healthy. So teaching them how to stew up noni fruit for people that are recovering from cancer treatment.
Okay.
And it's part of the tourism now. So they're advertising it as tourism to say, hey, come to the country. We're going to teach you how to use real ingredients to help heal you, rather than all the tablets you're taking for this, that, and everything else. And it's an interesting angle in some senses, possibly for you guys here to be able to attract something different from the tourists by saying, if you're going to come to this island, you want to eat all this food, why not learn how to eat some good food in a traditional way and still feel like, oh, we've come to see the indigenous San Andrés people. But you guys can make some money and they can get some good food.
Sure.
Just a point.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, so, you got any questions, Nick?
I'm actually learning.
Yes.
That's it.
I'm like playing.
I have a strange question because I always have this debate with my friends because in my family, the cooking came down the male line. I learned to cook from my grandfather. My father is incredible. Well, he's a Rasta vegan, so he's had to learn to cook food because when you ain't got no meat and nothing in the food better taste good. So he had to learn to do that. My mum cooked a little, but it just basic enough for me to have food in my belly. But my grandfather and his father apparently were always cooks. His father was a cook in Aruba, in the boats in the ships. So we've come down from that line. And in Trinidad, it's very common for men to really learn to cook good and to be like in the household. Like, I know for my mom, if the family come to the house and I'm getting put in the kitchen, and if the rice I cook ain't good, it's a problem for my mom. If the fish I cook ain't seasoned right, it's a problem for my mom. We look at like you didn't raise the son good.
Yeah.
So what is the kind of culture here with I know Albert looking at me like don't ask. What's the culture here in terms of the men adopting these kind of things and playing their part? For us, cook and clean, you have to learn to cook and clean as a boy. 100%. You're not leaving the house before the house is clean.
That is.
It's not just something that just leave to the girls in the house at the moment. What is the culture here with food and men? Do they just eat? Or do they help?
No, the men also cook here. You have a lot of men here that like to cook. And we have a lot of men that came out of study and is chef. Chef, they are, how you say that in English? Chef. But it's not overcommon. Our ancestral from my mother's side, my brothers, all of them can cook. My son also can cook. Sometimes he say, I'm not going to learn it because when you're in the kitchen, I'm not in here, but he can defend himself with everything. Also, my daughter cook, but it's not overcommon to find man in kitchen more than woman. Here you find more woman and what man. But I think that is something that we can work on also because if we work on it from day small, I think they would have that passion and that love for it. And I think that is what lacking here. Once we had a program with a lady and they had a program that they carried the little children them and learn them to cook. And my grandson say him is interested in it. So I say that is something that we have to try to keep up. That our generation, both man and woman, can be able to come to handle the kitchen because it's a income. And they can defend themselves. Even though have another job, you can defend yourself in cooking and selling something that you can have another income. So I think it is very important.